Greetings, rivals. Brucey Goosey here, and today I'm going to do a deck profile on my Frosmoth build I've been using for the Sword and Shield season. I didn't get to play it too much in person. I have played it a bunch online, and I feel very confident in this build that I would definitely bring it to a challenge. I doubt it would do good in a cup, but it's most certainly good enough for league play and for a challenge. So when that happens again, I'll be using this, and I plan to keep updating this deck. So I'll show you the journey as it happens. Alright, let's get into the deck. So the main feature of the deck is using Frosmoth. And Frosmoth has an ability, Ice Dance, which as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a water energy card from your hand to one of your benched water Pokemon. So it's kind of like Malamar, but instead from the discard, it's from your hand. And we play 3 copies of Frosmoth and 3 copies of Snom, the pre-evolution. Now, Frosmoth is not used for attacking in any way, and it does have a retreat cost of 2, which actually helps us use it for a pivot with another card I'll get into later on in the video. Alright, so the main Pokemon we're going to set up is going to be Lapras. I play 2 copies of Lapras, 210 HP. It's most likely not going down with a one-hit KO, unless it's from a Pikarom, because its weakness is electric. So for a colorless energy, you use Body Surf, and you'll attach a water energy card from your hand to this Pokemon. If you do, you're going to switch it with one of your benched Pokemon. Its attack, Ocean Loop, does 210 damage for 3 water energy and 1 colorless. And you put 2 water energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand. So the attacks have a little bit of synergy switching between them. On top of that, I have 2 copies of Lapras VMAX. With 320 HP, it makes it very tanky. Your main attack, which is the only attack, is G-Max Pump. For 3 colorless energy, this attack does 30 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's 90 for the base plus 30 more for each one. So since we're using water energy only in this deck, right off the bat you're hitting 180 with a full setup. And then you keep adding on the water energy as you need them. So that's our main attacker. I also have 2 copies of Keldeo V. For 1 water energy, Wave Splash does 40 damage, and then Secret Sword, its main attack, does 50 damage, plus 30 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's a little bit like Lapras VMAX, but not. Also, Lapras VMAX will give up 3 prizes as opposed to Keldeo giving up only 2. A little bit of a trade-off. To help us set up, I have 2 copies of Jirachi for the Stellar Wish ability. You know, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, take out a trainer card, put it in your hand, shuffle, Jirachi to sleep. I also have 2 copies of the Dene GX for the ability to Dene Change, discard your hand, draw 6 new cards. It's a lot of high number count cards in this deck you're about to see, so losing a couple of resources here and there is not a big deal. Also, if you end up discarding water energy, there is a way to bring them back. For a couple tech options for Pikarom and ADPZ, I have Palkia GX, and it's here for the GX attack, which does 150 for 5 energy, 3 water, 2 colorless, which is going to be 5 water in this deck. And you shuffle all energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon into their deck. So it's pretty much going to turn off their amazing setup, especially if it's Pikarom and they just got their full Blitz and they've already used their Thunder Mountain and their Tapu Koko. It's really going to hurt them. For 1 water energy, spatial control, move any number of energy from your bench Pokemon to this Pokemon. And Hydro Pressure is its main attack, 60 plus, 20 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon, and it has an attack cost of 3. I also have in for my last tech Pokemon, Fion, and here for the ability, Whirlpool Suction, you shuffle it, you put this card in the bottom of your deck, and your opponent switches their active Pokemon. Alright, so our supporters, we have 3 copies of Professor's Research. Discard your hand, draw 7. And for the last supporter is going to be Misty and Lorelei, tag team. you're going to search your deck for up to 3 water energy cards and put them right in your hand. It's a great way to set up, you know, when you got the Lapras VMAX and you need to hit a higher number for some reason. Also to help with setting up, get into our item cards. 4 copies of Quick Ball, discard a card from your hand, search your deck for a basic Pokemon. Then there's also 3 copies of Pokemon Communication. You're going to swap a Pokemon from your hand with one in your deck. We have 2 copies of Evolution Incense. Search your deck for an Evolution Pokemon, which would be Lapras VMAX or your Frosmoth. I also have 1 copy of Energy Spinner. You search your deck for 1 basic energy card, and if you go second on your first turn, you would be able to search out 3. It's really about thinning out the deck. It was another thing Misty and Lorelei can do for you. You find that you keep just getting energy and you just need to thin out the numbers a little bit. Those 2 cards will help. Also with thinning, 2 copies of Acrobike. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one in your hand, and the other one gets discarded. When you end up discarding your energy, you need to bring it back to power someone up because you got your Frosmoth and someone on the bench ready. 2 copies of Energy Retrieval. You put up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. This deck does need a little bit of switching. So I play 3 copies of Switch, which is just switch your active with your bench Pokemon. For a gusting effect, also for draw support. 4 copies of Custom Catcher. Lets me draw cards when I need them, and if I also need to select my opponent's Pokemon I want to take out, I just play 2 of them. To help with switching, I have 2 copies of Air Balloon, which works great with Keldeo, Lapras, and Frosmoth in this deck, because they have a retreat cost of 2. Since we play Jirachi, I like to play 2 copies of Escape Board, because it's the only way you're going to be able to retreat it, unless you use Switch. For stadiums, I play 2 copies of Viridian Forest just to help thin out so you can find your energy. Discard a card from your hand, get an energy card, and I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 water energy in this deck. So the main thing I like to do turn 1 is get Jirachi and at least 1 Snom on the bench. Lapras, you're not really hunting it as much because it's really the second turn, or the third turn rather, is when you would start taking the knockouts. Palkia, it's only there for Pikarom and ADP once they have their energy out. If you start it, try and hide it on the bench. So this deck's really good against fire decks such as Ability Zard. Easy way to take it out. That Cargo deck I see every now and then has a good matchup against it. It's also good against Goon Squad since you have evolution lines in this deck. In testing against Malamar, it seems to trade off pretty nicely. They have similar effects, so it's kind of interesting to see that. For changes, I wouldn't change anything as of right now, but going forward I would like to switch out custom catchers for boss's orders. I also wouldn't mind some type of supporter direct search that's not limited only to searching out basic Pokemon. I'm trying to think. Stadiums, you could try playing, instead of the Viridian Forest, you could play Power Plant just to turn off your opponent's ability GX Pokemon. Really, you're preventing them from playing Dedenne, but if you need to play it, you lose it. But with Viridian Forest, you're able to thin out your deck a little. You discard a card from your hand, and you search your deck for one of your energy cards. Yeah, well, that's Frosmoth. So if you like this deck and you want to see it in the future, leave a like, subscribe. For those of you that don't know, we're Rivals of Red and we're on Facebook. Look us up. We do pack opening videos, we do deck profiles, and we're working on a Learn to Play series. So please do give us a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.